Hello, I'm Dr. Red Bull and welcome to another vlog. This is my notebook on the Silverstone Grand Prix, which has just gone by a few days, which has enabled me to suck in all the information and all sort of the after talk. And there is lots of talking points about Silverstone. The Silverstone race as its whole was a very good race despite there being a runaway leader. That still doesn't necessarily mean that it was a poor race, but it was definitely up there, a good race as ever, and Silverstones generally do produce good races. Qualifying, probably one of the best and most interesting qualifying since China. No coincidence that it was a qualifying session whereby Sebastian Vettel got second place and was on pole for a few seconds. So yeah, so it was a very good qualifying for Vettel, although slightly helped by him using the track at its very best when it surprisingly dried up in sector 3, and four drivers profited from this track condition, which enabled them to shoot right up. So you had the likes of Hulkenberg up there. I've forgotten who else. Rosberg managed to get pole because of it, and of course you had Vettel in P2, and the likes of Ricciardo and Hamilton kind of lost out because they didn't do a flying lap at that last minute, as we all know. They all believed that the track was pretty much past its best. So we had Vettel in second, so it was brilliant, and equalled his best qualifying because he was second in China. Was it China? No, Malaysia. Was it Malaysia who was second? Sorry, he qualified in second. So yeah, so he equalled his best qualifying in the season. Good to out-qualify Ricciardo as well, who's been on fantastic form recently. Ricciardo himself was in 7th, I believe. So yeah, so of course that was a consequence of missing out. I'm sure he'd have been much better because of that. Now, as for the race, Vettel, it was a poor start. The Renault engine's not particularly good, or maybe specifically the Red Bull itself is not particularly good at its launch, so it's not the best starter on the grid. And then you had that terrible accident with Kimi Raikkonen. Max Chilton to be a very lucky boy to be alive, even maybe, or not seriously injured. But yeah, so we had a restart. That didn't particularly help Vettel either because, again, he doesn't have the best starting. Himself is very good because they've tested his reactions from the human element side of starting, and he's very good at it, believe it or not. So yeah, the two starts in Silverstone really did put Vettel on a back foot. Ricciardo, and well, they had to pit Vettel quite early actually, and that's purely because they thought he was using his tyres up a little bit too much. So they pitted him early to get they started on the primes during the second restart because they changed tyres, which you can do when they're standing on the grid, and then they pretty much pitted him after a few more laps. So yeah, and the word was because he was struggling with tyre wear, but Ricciardo was doing fantastic on tyre wear. But unfortunately, not unfortunately, but fortunately, he was unable to do a one stop, and therefore got a podium place. Although, albeit very slow at the end, but thankfully he had a McLaren chasing him, which is not exactly the best car on the grid. So he managed to get his podium, in my opinion, because of that. But hats off to Ricciardo for performing this contrary strategy, which was a one stop. So yeah, so fully deserved of his podium. With Vettel, it's a fantastic battle between him and Alonso. Kind of funny, amusing, the radio message from both Alonso and Vettel. But all in all, it was great racing. It really will to will. Times I thought Alonso was a bit aggressive, but after when the emotion gets taken out of it all, it was pretty much fair from each other. They didn't crash each other. They get pretty close, and that's just two of the greatest racers on the grid right now, performing at their best. So of course they're not going to do anything stupid, but it was very close to the limit of an accident, and yeah, very sensible, I would say, from both sides. But unfortunately, Vettel was indeed the faster car. He was on the faster tyre. Alonso was on God knows how many oil. I think they're 8-year-old fossils. His tyres. I think they went to the museum afterwards or something. They was that old. So Alonso did fantastically well to hold him off for one, but unfortunately for Vettel, it was holding him back, and it was such a shame. If he's, maybe his pit stop was a bit quicker, or his out lap was slightly better, or his in lap slightly better, well, not too much on his out lap, but on his in lap rather. If he just got that extra bit second, then he would have been clear of Alonso, and I'm pretty confident he would have got the podium. But unfortunately, he got left behind, and he was left behind Alonso for a handful of laps really, and that really did hurt his the final phase of the race, because as soon as he cleared Alonso with only a handful of laps to go, with only a couple, should we say, he was away. He was only his fastest lap time was 4/10 of Lewis Hamilton's fastest lap time. So he was away. But unfortunately, the Alonso battle, as great as it was from a Red Bull side, it wasn't particularly good, because it really did hamper his race, and he could have had a really good strong finish. But Alonso is not many people do overtake Alonso, despite what kind of quality car he's in. So he eventually did it, thankfully. There is a problem with the strategy, I thought, with Vettel, with the whole prime idea, and the short stint on the primes. I think they kind of cocked up on that, and Red Bull do admit that, and they usually pinpoint on strategy, which is kind of queer to find out. But yeah, the strategy did cost Vettel as well as being behind Alonso. And I think if those two were slightly a bit better on another day, then for sure he would have definitely got third place. But all in all, it was a great battle between the two, and that pretty much concludes Silverstone. It was something which we all expected, really. We was going to expect Mercedes to dominate. I fully expected Williams and Red Bull were kind of on par, really. Red Bull looking great in some sort of parts of the track, whereas Mercedes Williams were good in that sort of part of the track. So yeah, I was fully expecting Red Bull to have a good fight with Williams this race, and just unfortunately with the Vettel side of things, about the strategy and track position didn't quite go his way, and he's had a bit of that, really, because I thought he was better than Ricciardo all weekend, just like I thought he was better than Ricciardo in Canada even. But unfortunately, it was just strategy, it was just letting down, really. But you shouldn't really pin too much blame on it, because I don't want to take too much away from Ricciardo, who's doing fantastic. But on a positive note, which I'm going to end the video on a positive note, which is I think it's finally good for Vettel to have a clean race, that's for sure. He's been having a lot of reliability issues, and it's just so nice for him to have a good race in terms of reliability, which was 100% spot on, fantastic, which is good to see. And at the end of the day, he got a good hold of points. He ended up in fifth. Vettel ended up in fifth in the end, so which was great for him. And also Ricciardo for his third podium of the season, so well done to him. And that concludes my notebook for Silverstone. And hopefully we'll see you in the home race or Vettel's home race in Germany in was it 10 days time now, I think. So we're all looking forward to that. And hopefully I can do a notebook for that one too, post the race, and also maybe some odd sort of obscure videos with Red Bull related news. If there's anything to talk about that's something on my mind, which I think I can talk about, but if not, if there is, I'll definitely do a video. I'm trying to make time for it. So that concludes my video. Give it a like if you've liked it, drop a comment if you want to. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and also there is Dr. Red Bull Facebook page, which I'm just starting. I really shooken up the camera by doing that, but there is a Dr. Red Bull Facebook page which I'm looking to do plug my videos, and just some generalised comments about what's going on, which may not necessarily deem a video. And that concludes my video. Have a nice day, and I'll speak to you soon.